Help me reach 6,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and share your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. My name is Lena Carter, and I wish I could say this story makes me proud. It doesn't. It's the kind of memory that stays in the back of your mind like a bruise. Tender, dark, and impossible to ignore once you press on it. And yet, for a long time, I convinced myself it wasn't that serious. I told myself, everyone jokes, everyone flirts, everyone lets the moment sweep them away, but not everyone destroys their marriage at an office party. My husband, Aaron, is the quiet type, steady, thoughtful, the kind of man who remembers how you take your coffee, even on the days you can barely remember yourself. That night, he was just there to support me. He never enjoyed loud rooms or clinking glasses, but he came because I asked, and I love that about him. His willingness to show up for me even when it wasn't his world. But lately, his softness irritated me. I craved something sharper, something more thrilling, something that made my heart race instead of simply feel safe. That's where Caleb came in. Charming, confident, unfairly attractive. My co-worker with a gift for turning every sentence into something tempting. The kind of man who makes you forget about consequences. The party was noisy, the lights too bright, the drinks too strong. I wore a dress I bought just because I knew Caleb liked it, and he noticed. Of course he did. He always did. "You look amazing tonight, Lena," he whispered near my ear, and I felt the room spin just a little. I told myself it was harmless. I told myself it was only flirting. I told myself no one was getting hurt. Then I saw Aaron standing a few feet away, hands in his pockets, that gentle smile on his face, proud to see me shine in a room where he knew no one. And still, I didn't stop. Caleb joked about how I must be exhausted carrying the whole department, and I laughed too loudly, touching his arm like it was natural. I didn't even glance back to see if Aaron heard. If I had, maybe I would have stopped. Maybe. But I didn't. At one point, when Caleb teased me about being too classy for small-town loyalty, I joked back, "Well, someone has to keep my husband interesting." People laughed. I laughed too. It was cruel. And Aaron heard every word. The change in the room was subtle, like the temperature dropped a few degrees, but I felt it. My laughter faded when I realized the silence behind me wasn't empty. It was him standing there watching me with an expression I had never seen before. Not anger, not heartbreak, something colder, something sharp. He walked toward me slowly on purpose. For a moment, everything else disappeared. Even Caleb stepped back. Aaron's eyes locked onto mine, and my stomach dropped like the floor had vanished beneath me. "Interesting," he said softly. Almost too softly. "Is that what I am to you now?" My mouth went dry. I tried to smile, tried to brush it off as a joke, but the look on his face made the words fall apart before they formed. Everyone was watching. Conversation stopped, glasses froze in mid-air. The whole room leaned in without moving. "Aaron, I was just joking." He finished for me, still not smiling. "You make fun of me to impress a man who wouldn't even hold your hair back if you were sick." A few people gasped. Caleb stiffened. I reached for Aaron's arm, but he pulled away, and that small movement hit harder than a slap. Something in his face hardened, like a door inside him slammed shut. When he spoke again, his voice wasn't gentle. It wasn't soft, unsure, or apologetic. It was cold, controlled, almost frightening. "Fine," he said, "if you want to see interesting." He leaned closer, so close I felt his breath by my ear. "I can show you interesting." When he stepped back, the room was completely silent, waiting, watching, holding its breath. And then Aaron did something that changed him from the quiet, harmless man everyone thought he was into someone none of us recognized. Someone who scared me. Someone who froze the room in total shock. Aaron didn't yell. He didn't break anything. He didn't storm out like a wounded husband demanding apologies. That would have been easier to accept, easier to repair. Instead, he did something far worse. He smiled. Not the gentle, patient smile I knew so well. This one was sharp, almost cutting. The kind that makes your body tense before your mind understands. The kind that tells you someone has reached a place where pain no longer holds power. "Aaron," I whispered, my voice shaking. "Please don't make a scene," he murmured with a quiet laugh. "A scene, Lena. I'm done being the quiet man in the corner. Tonight, you wanted a performance." His eyes slid toward Caleb. "Let's give them one." Before I could speak, Aaron moved past me and slipped his hand into the inside pocket of his blazer. For a brief second, fear rushed through me, thinking he was about to do something reckless, but instead he pulled out his phone and raised it like proof. "Did you know," he said calmly, "that loyalty is only as strong as the person who chooses it?" People traded confused glances. Caleb shifted uneasily. Then Aaron went on, his voice steady, almost precise. "I'm not angry that you flirted," he said. "I'm angry that you thought I was too blind to notice." His eyes locked with mine, or too kind to respond. Heat flooded my face. Shame spread across my skin like fire. I felt exposed, stripped of every ounce of confidence I'd had earlier. "Aaron, can we please talk about this somewhere else?" I begged. He ignored me. "Let me tell you all something about my wife," he said, raising his voice just enough for everyone to hear. Not shouting, just sharp enough to cut through the noise. She loves attention, the kind that makes her feel special, desired, but she forgets that the men who give her that attention aren't the ones who stay when life turns ugly. Caleb stiffened, clearly wishing he could disappear. "Aaron, stop," I whispered. But he wasn't finished. "You see?" he continued, while she was busy trying to impress someone who would walk away the moment something brighter came along. She forgot that I've been carrying us both for years, quietly, patiently, because I believed she was worth it. My eyes burned. The truth in his voice hurt more than the embarrassment ever could. "And tonight," he added, staring straight at me, "I realize she doesn't want a husband. She wants an audience." A soft gasp moved through the room. My throat tightened. "Aaron, that's not fair." "No," he cut in. "What's not fair is pretending to love someone you no longer respect." My heart clenched. I could feel every stare on me. Pity, judgment, shock, yet none of it hurt as much as knowing he meant every word. "What do you want?" I whispered. Aaron slowly slipped his wedding ring from his finger. For a moment, he held it between his thumb and forefinger, studying it like something fragile, something already broken. Then he placed it on the table beside us with a soft tap that sounded louder than a scream. "Clarity," he said, "for both of us." The room froze. No one moved. No one breathed. It was as if time itself had paused. Caleb lifted his hand slightly. "Look, man, I think you're taking this too." Aaron turned on him so fast Caleb stopped mid-sentence. "You think I'm doing this because of you?" Aaron said quietly. "Don't flatter yourself. You were just the spark. The fire was already burning." Babs stepped back like he'd been struck. Then Aaron looked at me again. Really looked at me with a coldness I never knew he had. "I'm done begging for scraps of affection from someone who throws it around like confetti for men she barely knows." He said, "You want excitement, Lena? Then go chase it. I won't stand in your way anymore." My knees felt weak. "You're leaving me?" "No," he said calmly. "I'm letting you leave the version of me you created because that man deserved better." I covered my mouth as tears finally spilled down my cheeks. Aaron stepped back, his face unreadable. "Good night, Lena." He turned and walked out of the room. Not rushed, not dramatic, just gone. The silence afterward was the loudest thing I had ever known. Slowly, people went back to their conversations, pretending not to stare, pretending the air wasn't heavy with tension. Caleb stepped toward me, but I moved away. For the first time that night, something terrifying sank in. I hadn't just humiliated my husband. I had awakened a side of him I never believed existed. And in doing so, I may have destroyed the only person who ever truly loved me. The party went on, but my world had already fallen apart.